The movie director James Toback is the subject of a recent Los Angeles Times report that details multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. Tiziana FabiAgence FrancePresse, Getty Images. Two prominent executives, one in the movie industry, the other in the restaurant business, are the latest to face allegations of sexual misconduct. The Los Angeles Times reported accusations made by dozens of women against James Toback, a writer and director whose films include Bugsy and Two Girls and a Guy, and in another report, the Times-Picayune of New Orleans described allegations against John Besh, a well-known restaurateur, and employees at the company he owns in part, the Besh Restaurant Group. The allegations come after similar accusations made against the movie producer Harvey Weinstein. On October 5, the New York Times reported on allegations that Mr. Weinstein had sexually harassed and abused young women for years. More women came forward with similar stories about Mr. Weinstein after the accounts were published. And still more women have begun using the hashtag #MeToo on social media to share their own experiences with sexual harassment, abuse and rape. Mr. Toback was accused of cornering young women and attempting to masturbate in front of them or to rub his groin against them. The Los Angeles Times interviewed 38 women separately. Many said Mr. Toback tried to convince them that he could advance their careers in the movie industry. Some said he asked for eye contact while he masturbated in front of them. Two described tearful reactions, either in the moment or years later. Sari Kameen, a writer who also works in radio and photography, told the Los Angeles Times she was at a Kinko's in Manhattan when Mr. Toback approached her in 2003. Ms. Kameen, then 23, was an aspiring actress. She said the two met a few times for dinner before he invited her to a hotel room. There, she said, he convinced her to take off her clothes to prove she could perform sex scenes as an actress. Then, she said, he began rubbing his groin against her leg, and she fled. In a phone interview on Sunday, Ms. Kameen said that telling her story in a public forum made her feel strong and vulnerable at the same time. "It's really amazing to be part of this community," she said of the dozens of women who had shared similar stories. "I couldn't be more happy that this is the outcome, that other women would also feel empowered." Mr. Toback did not respond to an email seeking comment. But he told the Los Angeles Times that he had not met any of the accusers, or that if he did, it was for 5 minutes and have no recollection. The accusations against Mr. Besh and other employees at the Besh Restaurant Group paint a picture of a work environment in which women repeatedly dealt with unwanted physical contact, comments and comeuppance. The Times-Picayune reported that 25 current and former employees said they had experienced sexual harassment from managers or coworkers, and 2 filed complaints with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The Times-Picayune reported that 1 complaint, filed by a female employee who was not identified, said Mr. Besh tried to force her to submit to his sexual overtures. Mr. Besh said in a statement that he had had a consensual relationship with one member of my team, John Besh, an owner of the Besh Restaurant Group, in 2015. In a statement, he said he had had a consensual relationship with one member of my team. Paul Zimmerman, Getty Images for Red. He added, "I alone am entirely responsible for my moral failings. This is not the way the head of a company like ours should have acted, let alone a husband and father. But it should not taint our incredible team of more than 1,000 employees, nor undermine our unyielding commitment to treating everyone with respect and dignity, regardless of gender, race, age and sexual preference." In a phone interview on Sunday, Maddie Robeson, who said she experienced harassment during her 2 years working for the restaurant group, said there was no human resources department during her time there. "I think a lot of this could have been avoided if we had a trusted person to talk to," she said. Raymond Landry, Besh Restaurant Group's general counsel, said in a statement that, while we've had a complaint procedure in place that complies with all existing laws, we now recognize that, as a practical matter, we needed to do more than what the law requires, and we have revamped our training, education and procedures accordingly. Ms. Robeson said she had been struck by how the allegations against Besh Restaurant Group employees mirrored similar stories of intimidation and harassment across a range of industries, from news media to technology to fashion. "You think you're alone," she said. "And you're not.